Most of us think we're being polite on a cruise, and that's exactly where things go wrong. Some of the habits passengers do to be helpful actually make the cruise job harder, slower, and more stressful. Cruise lines never explain these because they don't want awkward conversations with guests, and crew can't really correct you without risking complaints. In this video, I'm breaking down 21 polite things cruisers do that crew secretly dislike. Plus, what to do instead so you can be respectful without making things harder for anyone. Stick around to the end because a few of the last ones surprise even frequent cruisers. If you want smoother service and better vibes on board, this is for you. Number 1. Don't tip crew loudly or in public. Tipping is appreciated, but making a show of it can put crew in an awkward spot. Loud or public tipping can embarrass them, and on some ships, raise compliance issues with company policy about how gratuities are handled. Crew work under strict rules, and being singled out in front of others can create pressure, jealousy, or unwanted attention from supervisors. Cruise lines don't explain this clearly because they want tipping to feel natural, not regulated. The respectful move is to tip discreetly and privately, or use approved channels when offered. You'll still show appreciation without putting someone in an uncomfortable position. Quiet generosity goes further than public displays and helps keep interactions professional and stress-free. Number 2. Don't film crew without permission. Most passengers assume filming crew is harmless, especially when recording vacation clips, but it can violate privacy and company policy. Many crew members work under strict guidelines about being filmed or posted online, and some contracts limit how their image can be used. When a camera appears unexpectedly, it adds pressure and can put staff in an uncomfortable position. Cruise lines don't explain this clearly because it's easier to let guests record freely than to police every phone. The better approach is simple. Ask before filming and respect a no. You'll avoid awkward moments, protect someone's privacy, and keep interactions friendly instead of tense. Being considerate costs nothing, but it preserves trust with the people working hard to make your cruise enjoyable. Number 3. Don't save pool chairs with towels. Saving pool chairs with towels all day feels harmless, but it creates conflicts the crew has to manage. Lounger availability is tight, and when chairs sit empty for hours, other guests get frustrated and staff get pulled into arguments they didn't cause. Cruise lines avoid strict enforcement because it leads to complaints, so crew end up mediating disputes instead of focusing on service. The considerate move is to claim a chair only when you're actually using it. If you leave for more than a short break, free it up. You'll reduce tension, keep the pool deck fair, and help staff avoid awkward confrontations. A small habit change keeps the vibe relaxed and makes busy sea days smoother for everyone. Number 4. Don't pressure crew to bend rules. Most guests treat small rule breaking as harmless favors, but asking crew to bend policies just this once puts them in a risky position. Crew staff work under strict contracts, audits, and camera monitoring, and even minor exceptions can lead to write-ups or termination. When you push for special treatment, you're asking someone to choose between your convenience and their livelihood. Cruise lines don't explain this because they don't want policy debates with guests. The smarter move is to respect boundaries and look for approved alternatives through guest services. You'll avoid awkward moments, get clearer answers, and keep interactions friendly instead of transactional. Treating crew with respect doesn't limit your experience. It protects the people who make your cruise run smoothly every day. Number 5. Don't return room service trays yourself. Most guests think returning room service trays is being helpful, but it actually disrupts the crew's collection system. Cruise staff follow set routes and timing to retrieve trays, sanitize them, and track inventory efficiently. When passengers carry trays to random stations, items get misplaced, stacked incorrectly, or missed during cleaning cycles. Cruise lines don't explain this because it's easier to let guests assume they're doing a good deed. The smarter move is to place trays outside your cabin as instructed, so staff can collect them during scheduled rounds. This keeps hallways clear, speeds up sanitation, and prevents delays for other guests waiting on clean dishes. You're not being lazy by leaving trays out, you're letting the system work the way it's designed to, which helps everyone on board. Number 6. Don't jump in to help the crew. Most guests think grabbing bags or helping with tasks is kind, but it can disrupt crew workflows and safety systems. Crew members follow specific procedures for lifting, routing luggage, and moving equipment to avoid injuries and track items correctly. When passengers step in, it breaks that flow and can create liability issues if something gets damaged or someone gets hurt. Cruise lines don't spell this out because it feels awkward to tell guests not to help. The better move is to let trained staff handle the job and offer thanks instead. You'll keep operations running smoothly, avoid slowing the process, and protect both you and the crew from unnecessary risks. Respecting the system helps everyone get where they're going faster. Number 7. Don't over-chat with busy crew. Friendly conversation is great, but long chats with crew during peak service can quietly slow everything down. Crew members work on tight schedules, serving dozens of guests within short windows of time, and falling behind creates pressure that ripples across the whole team. When lines build, they're often blamed for delays they didn't cause. Cruise lines don't explain this because they want service to feel relaxed, not rushed. The considerate move is to keep conversations brief during busy periods and save longer chats for quieter moments. You still get warm, friendly interactions without putting someone behind schedule. A quick thank you and a smile go further than a long story when the bar or dining room is packed. Number 8. Don't use pet names, flirt, or touch crew. What feels playful to a guest can feel uncomfortable or inappropriate to a crew member. Using pet names, flirting, or casual touching crosses professional boundaries and puts staff in an awkward position they can't easily escape. Crew are trained to be friendly and polite, which can be mistaken for personal interest. Cruise lines don't spell this out because enforcing social boundaries is uncomfortable, but policies around conduct are strict. The respectful move is to keep interactions professional and friendly, just like you would in any workplace. You'll avoid creating pressure, protect someone's comfort, and keep the vibe positive. Treating crew with basic respect doesn't make your cruise less fun. It makes it better for everyone involved. Number 9. Don't tell crew how to do their job. Most guests don't mean harm when they say, on another ship they did it this way, but it often lands as criticism. Crew members are trained on specific procedures for their ship, safety rules, and service standards. Comparing them to other ships or telling them how to work can feel dismissive and put them on the defensive. Cruise lines don't explain this dynamic because it's awkward to coach guest behavior. The better move is to ask for help or options instead of instructions. You'll get smoother service, friendlier responses, and solutions that fit the ship's actual systems. Respecting their expertise builds goodwill and leads to better outcomes than trying to manage the process yourself. Number 10. Don't hype off-menu requests. Most guests hear about secret menu wins and start treating off-menu requests like a challenge. During peak service, that creates chaos in the kitchen. Cruise dining runs on tight prep schedules, portion controls, and station workflows. When multiple guests push for custom dishes at the same time, it slows tickets, disrupts plating order, and backs up service for everyone. Cruise lines don't advertise limits because flexibility sounds like premium service. The smarter move is to keep special requests simple and rare and save them for quieter dining periods. You'll get better results, friendlier responses, and faster meals. Asking politely and respecting the flow keeps service smooth and prevents small hacks from turning into delays for the entire dining room. Number 11. Don't hover over cabin stewards. Most guests think staying nearby while the cabin steward cleans is polite or helpful, but it actually slows their routine and adds pressure. Stewards follow a tight cleaning sequence across dozens of rooms with limited time between turnover windows. When you hover, they have to adjust their pace, skip steps, or work around you, which makes the job harder and less efficient. Cruise lines don't explain this because it feels awkward to tell guests to step away. The better move is to give them space and return once the room is ready. You'll get a cleaner cabin, faster service, and a steward who isn't rushed or stressed. Letting them work uninterrupted respects their process and helps every cabin on the hall get serviced on time. Number 12. Don't demand last-minute table changes. Asking for table changes right before dinner may seem small, but it disrupts the entire dining plan. Dining rooms run on precise seating charts, timing windows, and server assignments. Last-minute swaps force staff to reshuffle sections, delay service, and juggle capacity for dozens of guests at once. Cruise lines don't explain this because they want dining to feel flexible, not logistical. The smarter move is to request changes earlier in the day or speak to the maitre d' on embarkation day. You'll get more options and smoother service without throwing off the flow for everyone else. Planning ahead respects the system and keeps dinner running on time for the whole room. Number 13. Don't queue jump to be quick. Cutting in line to save a minute creates bigger problems than it solves. When guests queue jump, staff have to step in, reset fairness, and calm frustrated passengers who were waiting their turn. That slows service for everyone and puts crew in awkward confrontations they didn't cause. Cruise lines avoid strict policing because it sparks complaints, so the burden falls on staff to restore order. The better move is to wait your turn or ask politely if there's a separate line for quick questions. You'll avoid tension, keep service flowing, and help crew focus on serving instead of refereeing disputes. Small acts of patience keep busy areas calmer and make the experience smoother for everyone around you. Number 14. Don't block hallways for chats or photos. Stopping in narrow hallways to chat or take photos feels harmless, but it blocks service carts and emergency access. Crew move linens, meals, and equipment through these corridors on tight schedules. When pathways are blocked, deliveries slow, and safety routes are compromised. Cruise lines don't explain this because they want guests to feel free to roam, not policed. The considerate move is to step into wider areas or alcoves before stopping. You'll keep traffic flowing, reduce bottlenecks, and avoid putting crew in the awkward position of asking you to move. A few steps to the side keeps operations smooth and preserves clear routes for staff and emergencies alike. Number 15. Don't smoke or vape outside designated areas. Smoking or vaping outside designated areas seems minor, but it creates real problems for the crew. Cruise ships follow strict safety and fire regulations, and violations trigger warnings, fines, or security involvement that staff must enforce. When rules are ignored, crew get pulled into confrontations and paperwork instead of service. Cruise lines don't over-explain this because enforcement already causes tension with guests. The simple move is to use only marked smoking areas and follow posted times and locations. You'll avoid fines, keep shared spaces comfortable for non-smokers, and reduce stress on the staff who have to police behavior. Respecting these zones protects safety on board and keeps everyone's experience smoother. Number 16. Don't stop off-duty crew in port. Seeing crew members in port can feel like a casual chance to say hello, ask for directions, or snap a quick photo, but for many crew, this is their only real break time during long contracts at sea. Off-duty hours are when they rest, call family back home, buy essentials, handle personal errands, and mentally reset after working long shifts in high-pressure service roles. When guests stop them with requests, questions, or photos, it quietly pulls them back into work mode during the few hours they get to feel like regular people again. Cruise lines don't clearly explain this boundary because off-duty policies vary by ship, and enforcing them feels awkward with passengers. The respectful move is to let crew enjoy their personal time ashore and save questions for when they're back on duty on board. You'll still receive great service later, and you're helping protect the limited rest that keeps crew patient, energized, and able to deliver a better experience for everyone throughout the cruise. Number 17. Report problems early, don't stay silent. Staying quiet about small problems feels polite, but it often makes things worse over time. A noisy cabin, broken air conditioning, or missing amenity is easiest to fix early when staff still have flexibility and available options. Once the ship fills and daily schedules lock in, solutions become limited and minor annoyances turn into lasting frustrations. Cruise lines don't emphasize early reporting because it increases service workload at the start of the voyage, but it's how issues actually get solved quickly. The smarter move is to report problems as soon as you notice them, calmly and clearly through guest services or the ship's app. Early reports give staff time to offer room changes, repairs, or reasonable alternatives before small inconveniences become trip-long disappointments. Waiting until the final day rarely helps because by then options are fewer and time is gone. Speaking up early protects your experience, reduces pressure on the crew, and allows fixes to happen before issues escalate into problems that cannot be resolved. Number 18. Don't enter cabins before they're ready. Entering your cabin before it's officially ready might feel harmless, but it disrupts the cleaning and stocking process in ways most guests never notice. Housekeeping teams followed tight turnover schedules, moving linen carts, restocking towels, replacing amenities, and sanitizing high-touch services in a specific order across dozens of rooms. When guests enter early, stewards must pause, work around personal items, or rush steps to keep moving, which increases mistakes and slows the entire corridor. Cruise lines don't explain this clearly because they want embarkation to feel flexible and welcoming, not procedural or restrictive. The smarter move is to wait for the cabin-ready announcement and use that time to explore public spaces, grab lunch, attend safety briefings, or organize plans for the day. You'll return to a properly stocked, fully cleaned room instead of one finished in a rush. Giving housekeeping uninterrupted time reduces errors, keeps schedules on track, and helps every cabin on your deck become ready sooner, cleaner, and in better condition for the rest of the cruise. Number 19. Acknowledge crew. Don't brush off greetings. It's easy to walk past crew greetings without thinking, especially when you're distracted, tired, or focused on getting somewhere on a busy ship. But those small moments matter far more than most guests realize. Crew members are trained to greet passengers as part of service culture, and a simple hello or thank you helps them feel seen rather than invisible. When greetings are ignored repeatedly, it can quietly wear down morale over long shifts and months-long contracts at sea. Cruise lines don't emphasize this because politeness feels obvious, yet the sheer volume of guests can make indifference feel personal. The respectful move is simple. Make brief eye contact, smile, and return the greeting when you pass by. It costs nothing and takes seconds, but it changes the tone of every interaction you have on board. Over time, these small acknowledgments build mutual respect and trust, which often leads to smoother service and more positive interactions throughout your trip. Acknowledging crew doesn't slow service. It creates warmth, reduces tension during busy periods, and supports the friendly culture passengers expect on vacation. Number 20. Don't interrupt crew during safety duties. Interrupting crew during safety drills or essential duties might feel harmless, but it pulls focus from tasks designed to protect everyone on board. During drills, inspections, or operational checks, crew follow strict procedures, timing windows, and communication protocols to ensure the ship is ready for emergencies. Even brief distractions can cause missed steps, delayed responses, or confusion that affects more than just one task. Cruise lines don't clearly explain this because they want the environment to feel relaxed, not rigid or procedural. The respectful move is to wait until drills or duties are complete before asking questions or making requests. You'll get clearer answers and better service when staff aren't split between safety and guest needs. Giving crew space during critical moments helps operations run smoothly, reduces pressure on staff, and supports the safety systems that protect everyone on board. When safety tasks are treated as interruptions instead of priorities, small risks stack up. Letting crew finish first helps keep the ship prepared, responsive, and ready for situations you hope never happen. Number 21. Don't expect onboard cabin upgrades. Expecting or demanding a cabin upgrade on board puts crew in a tough spot they can't control. Cabin assignments are managed by shoreside systems and operations teams, not the front desk staff you speak to. By the time the ship sails, most rooms are already allocated, wait lists are set, and inventory changes are tightly controlled. Cruise lines don't explain this clearly because upgrades sound like a tempting possibility, even when none are available. When guests push for last-minute upgrades, crew often take the frustration, even though they have no authority to change assignments. The better move is to check upgrade options before sailing or monitor offers in your booking portal. If something opens up on board, staff will usually notify eligible guests automatically. Respecting the limits of what crew can do keeps interactions friendly and avoids awkward exchanges that lead nowhere. If even one of these habits changes how you cruise, you're already ahead of most passengers. The goal isn't to walk on eggshells, it's to understand how ships actually operate so your polite actions don't create extra work or awkward moments for the people running the cruise. Crew rarely get to explain this side of the system, but once you see it, everything makes more sense. Drop a comment with the one that surprised you most or a moment you realized good intentions backfired. If this helped, hit like and subscribe for more cruise etiquette and insider tips they don't advertise. Cruise smarter, be kinder to the crew, and enjoy the trip.